You like this idea, man.
Now, I know I'm not black, but I think I can relate to the black experience.
John, don't go there.
That, man.
Come on, man, it's all good. What you doing with that laundry basket?
Just Betsy Wedkins is giving me the evil eyes. What's up, man?
Home Improvement was one of the biggest sitcoms on TV. It dominated primetime and made Tim Allen a household name. Naturally, ABC believed there was more to it than 8 seasons, but what did they get? A disaster that should have never happened. They got the awful Home Improvement spin-off Dave Chappelle Doesn't Want You to See. It was supposed to be a fun buddy comedy starring Home Improvement's favorite characters, but halfway into shooting, it fell like a pack of cards. What went wrong? Why did buddies fall so hard? This is a story of one of the worst sitcom spin-offs ever aired. It was so bad that it almost detailed the career of one of the greatest comedians of all time. So stick around and we'll lay it all out for you. Home Improvement's dominance. It's the 90s, the magical era where everyone was really into sitcoms. These shows hit the airwaves like monarchs ruled over kingdoms. At the top of this list was Home Improvement, arguably the king of all family comedies in the 90s. I mean, who didn't love Tim Allen as the Toolman Taylor? He was the best person for the job. Tim was the MacGyver of dad jokes. The show was everywhere, and viewers couldn't get enough of the suburban chaos and more power catchphrases. At the time, Tim was a rising star, and ABC had no intention of letting him go. They saw an opportunity, not just to keep him on their roster, but to cash in on his growing popularity.
Hard to believe there's 16 weeks of my dirty underwear in there, huh? Suppose your kid has a chemistry final tomorrow.
In the excitement of the moment, they pitched a spin-off as the next big thing for television, a surefire hit that would have audiences eagerly tuning in week after week. But here's where it gets interesting. How about side characters becoming main characters in a spin-off? It was a fantastic idea to have them take the lead. Well, Dave Chappelle and Jim Breuer were perfect for the job. After their brief roles in Home Improvement, fans fell in love with the chemistry. Who remembers Dave and Jim asking Tim Taylor for advice on their girlfriends? It was hilarious. Fortunately, the producers took the reviews seriously and gave them the green light for their own show. A move that, on paper, seemed like a great idea. But from the very beginning, the project was plagued with problems. Behind the scenes, nothing seemed to go right, and before long, Dave was ready to walk away. The original Odd Couple. Dave Chappelle was on the top of his game in the mid-90s. He was a stand-up prodigy that left everyone laughing their hearts out. At 14, he was already performing comedy at nightclubs. Shortly after graduation from high school, he moved to New York to become a major young talent. At 19, he made his debut in Robin Hood Men in Tights in 1993. It was a classic. On the other hand, he had Jim Breuer, a guy with Saturday Night Live fame and a lovable energy. He played characters like Joe Pesci and Goat Boy. He was the hyperactive sidekick every show in the 90s needed. ABC had these two stars together for a Home Improvement spin-off titled Buddies. The concept was creative.
Okay, Dave, you're gonna be Lorraine, and I want you to tell everybody what Lorraine says to Jim to get him in trouble.
All right, I know this one.
Two best friends from different races go into a video rental business together. It was set in the 90s, so you see the regular video store setting. Yeah, that's a bit of nostalgia for this age. The show is a classic buddy comedy setup. Dave brought the sharp, irritating humor, while Jim played the awkward, unpredictable counterpart. Exactly the dynamic the show was built around. They filmed the pilot, and everything was set for an April 1995 premiere. But just before it could air, ABC pulled the rug out from under them. Behind-the-scenes drama. Now, if the behind the scenes was an actual Hollywood movie, this is the plot twist. Unfortunately, the script for Buddies was poorly written. So Dave and his real-life best friend Jim are excited to be in this spinoff. In fact, they can't wait to be the superstars they've always wanted to be. But then, something felt off. The executives at ABC feared that Jim Breuer would overshadow his friend Dave. What's so special about Dave? Well, he was a future star, and ABC wanted to make a deal with him. Because of this, they let Jim go, no questions asked. His sack happened only 8 days before the premiere. Dave got the news at about the same time regular viewers got it. It was a rude shock. He was so upset that he wanted to quit the show, but his manager, Barry Katz, told him it was too late. Just while he was getting used to this news, Christopher Garten walked in to fill Jim Breuer's shoes. And let's be honest, this was when things fell apart. The combo was a total mismatch. Imagine swapping your best friend in the middle of a game with someone you have never met.
Oh, you stay black. Peace. You remember Walter Williams from high school?
Remember him?
This pissed Dave off even more. Nothing made sense at that point. The show's vision crumbled before their very eyes. But would the executives admit their mistake? Maybe it's not entirely their fault. Rumor has it that Dave asked ABC for a different actor to play the best bud. In other words, he influenced Jim's sack. What if that's the case? Bad ratings and worse reviews. Fast forward to 1996, when Buddies finally hits the airwaves. And guess what? There's nothing much to guess because it bombed. Not a little, but a whole bunch. Critics tore it apart. They called it lazy, awkward, and uninspiring. Fans expected some home improvement charm, but got the opposite. Even more annoying is the mismatched buddy comedy. The tone was bland and the show wasn't funny enough to keep viewers engaged. Fans expecting some home improvement charm got a weird, mismatched buddy comedy instead.
That, man.
Come on, man, it's all good. What you doing with that laundry basket?
Just Betsy Wedekins just giving me the evil eyes. That's all, man.
The tone was all over the place, and you could tell that the acting was forced. ABC aired only 5 episodes out of 13 before pulling it from their schedule. 8 of the episodes never saw the light of day. Buddies became one of the most infamous flops on TV. If you know a spinoff that's worse than this, let us know in the comments below. As for Dave, he went back to square one. He was sad that his big break went down the drain over a silly mistake. What went wrong? But why did this spinoff fail? It probably would have been a hit even if Jim had left, but what happened? You see, the casting was a mess. Jim was out at the last second. The timing was poor. It didn't give Dave time to get used to the new actor. Christopher, too, wasn't fit for the role. He played John instead of Jim and lost touch with the original character. Shakeups like these don't always end well.
Start dancing out of their houses.
Oh, yeah, that's the realistic black experience right there. Yeah, dancing out your house every morning singing.
Secondly, Dave didn't have creative control yet. He was a newbie in Hollywood, and the network was calling the shots. This means he wouldn't have left even if he wanted to. Of course, he couldn't speak up against the injustice. The result of the inconsistency was that the show lacked identity. It wasn't edgy enough for adults and less exciting for families. It was in the middle, with nothing to hold on to. Chapelle finds his voice. But hey, what's it they say about every great story? Expect a comeback. After Buddies flopped, Dave didn't give up so fast. Yes, it was hard to move on, but this young man doubled down on what he knew best. He took up movies and stand-up comedy. He starred in Half-Baked, a cult classic for stoner comedy lovers everywhere. Eventually, he met his big break. Dave launched Chapelle's show on Comedy Central, and boy, it was a hit. Dave took the stage, was 100% real, and dropped truth bombs. Here, he had it all. His voice? Check. Creative control? Check. Huge success? Double check.
Hey, 911, how are ya? Yeah. Look, there's a group of hooded white men gathering outside of my house.
Buddies remains a lesson for TV executives. Hiding wild talent could be detrimental to your craft. The failure was a win-win for Dave and Jim, both of whom went on to have successful careers. Does it still haunt Chapelle? Nowadays, Dave doesn't talk about Buddies. He prefers to leave it in the past. However, when he does, he calls it an embarrassment. Who wouldn't? The show wasn't just a flop, it was the end of Dave's working relationship with Jim Breuer. Talk about a painful breakup. When you talk of the worst shows ever, Buddies tops the list. It still leaves us with a lesson. Sometimes, flops are the best lessons you never knew you needed. Like seeds that eventually grow into mighty trees, sometimes Hollywood stars sometimes crash and burn before they take off.
Tom, open up! The pizza's here!
All right.
Barry said you're joining the Army next week. Eddie and I ordered you the pizza from a very special.
And if you're like Dave Chappelle, you've already cracked that code. If you love deep dives into failed spinoffs, remember to hit the like and subscribe button so we can bring you more content like this.